Good evening, viewers across the world. Welcome to PWW. This is Prestige Worldwide, and we are here for the Catalina Wine Mixer event. This is round number 1 at the Austrian Grand Prix here at A1 Ring, the Red Bull Ring, whichever name you want it to go by. It's myself, Jota, for this amazing event ahead of us here. We have 19 drivers all ready and raring to go for this amazing event ahead of us, and we do have a bunch of runners already out here in this Q2 event. People across the field trying to get themselves through into Q3. Q1 just happened, and of course 4 drivers eliminated and 7 3/4 of a minute to go for this event. And of course, if you are wanted to know more about the Catalina Wine Mixer event, we have plenty to offer. Up to $500 worth of prizes are being awarded in this event, and it is a totally free event for these drivers as well. So plenty of opportunity for these drivers to get themselves some good prizes for this here at PWW. On board at the moment with Christy as he just comes across the line. We'll see how he does as he is just about to get started actually in a quick turn 1 slight track extension. Hopefully got away with it. I don't think he did, because he is abandoning that lap as well. This is a circuit where it is quite easy to make that mistake, and you will end up making that mistake more often than you think at a circuit like this, because you do end up making that slight extension, and that does invalidate your lap very quickly. Majority of the drivers on the medium tyre as well. Of course, this is the tyre that all these drivers are wanting to get themselves set up on and have an advantage going through into the race. Just getting themselves ready. It's Crispy on trying to find another lap. Martin and Lord Gamer just getting himself on now with to start his lap. David carrying it in the back and forth of his Aston Martin. A bit more conservative actually through turn 1. Into 3, obviously a little bit more steadier on the pedal here as we have out of the way. Alpine on and out back himself at the moment here. Steady in the second sector, free flowing part of the circuit. You absolutely nail all your apexes. It's just beautiful bit of track this section, and a great hosting place for round number 1. He does head across the line, does Lord Gamer, 1 minute 3.5 lap time that he's looking for. And keep it steady, of course. Clip's just about to start his lap now in the Alpine as well. Bit of a loss of the rear end. And trying to keep it as steady as he possibly can. The Alpine looking to obviously just try and set himself a bit more of a boundary lap. 1 minute 3.4 for him on the last lap that he did. A fresh set of medium tyres now on this Alpine. C4 tyre. So the 4th of the softest tyres that Pirelli do bring to this circuit. Of course, they only bring the 3 out of the 5. This is the 4th, C4 being the second to softest. Of course, the only one way you can get any softer is by going for the soft tyre, but they do wear out quite quickly at a circuit like this. Usually the tyre management on this circuit not that prominent. Track extension of the final corner though. It's cost Clips big time. Comes across the line. Will be an invalid lap, but he was actually down on his lap anyway on these medium tyres. Supplier Raptor's had enough of this qualifying session. He feels confident he's through with a 103.3. For the BRL Perondi though, he is absolutely flying high at the moment with that 3.1, 0.2 of a second faster than his nearest rival at the moment. Let's go back aboard with Crispy actually, as he looks like he's actually track extended it again at turn 1. Not the most ideal scenario for Crispy. He's yet to set a lap at the moment, and he's going to be hoping he's got some fuel in the car to actually have another go at this one here. Here's Mers in the Alpha Tauri. And he's looking to try and get himself going in this session. Soft tyre at the moment. So he's got Iron Fox just sat down in the side of it at the moment. Sideline's just trying to get going, and number 69, AlphaTauri, gets going. That just immediately invalidates at turn 1, and then another driver currently struggling at the moment as well. Silk Weather as well, just trying to get himself out of the pits soon. Here's a McLaren though. And Maria Logic on these medium tyres, sorry, a very big track extension going through one, but got away with it, judged to have lost more time than he actually gained. But I think he's actually chosen to abandon this lap on his own accord, to be fair. Logic has chosen to actually abandon his lap as well. He is through at the moment, only just though on P8 as it stands. Drivers still yet to set some lap times at the moment. Bottom 3, Silk Weather, Mers and FRA Crispy at the moment looking to just try and get himself going here. The Crispy on the medium tyre still needs to set a lap, though he has managed to get past turn 1. Takes a wider line going through actually, and the Williams driver looking to get going here. Gets out of the way, does the Ferrari. Stays on board as he keeps it steady. And not bad taken actually from the Williams runner, looking to just keep going as he tries to avoid the track extensions. Not usually too bad through this second sector, but the third sector is usually where we see it really bad. Here he comes through the final couple of corners, clips it nicely, and he's certainly within track limits there. Is he in track limits here as well? He's going to keep it steady. He is very conservative through that final corner, so he is going to set a lap, but he's still out of qualifying at the moment. 1 minute 3.7. Not sure how much time there is left. He's just absolutely flatlined it straight into the wall, and he is out of qualifying. I think in very much an unsportsmanlike way. He shouldn't really have to bin it like that. Of course, at least the debris is not going to be all over the circuit, but now the way Crispy is out of qualifying, he's going to be starting in 12th place, assuming, of course, other drivers, such as this man here in the Red Bull, Silk Weather, actually gets himself going here. This is his one and only, I think, attempt he's got as he goes through its turn 1. Very, very, very wide through 1, and quite clearly a bit of understeer on this setup. Maybe some downforce issues, looking to maybe maximize the approach he's going to have into this circuit with maybe a lower downforce setup. But the number 8 just getting a wiggle on going through. Lower downforce, less drag of course on the car, means you're going to be able to carry more speed as you head through into the corners. Here he comes then down out of turn number 4, and not bad actually through turn 4 in fairness, into 6. Again, not bad taken as he comes through here, just trying to avoid track extension. Track extension issue here as well. Is he going to do it? No, manages it off there as well. And heading through that final corner. And again, another track extension issue for a lot of drivers. Not for this man though, one and only attempt he really needed. He comes across the line. Is he out of qualifying? He is not. He's beaten Crispy, but he's definitely not going to be through with a 1:03.7. And it looks to me as if he's certainly abandoning that one anyway, because he has track extended, so he's not going to be progressing any further on this one. The Ferrari of Veyron, though, looking to try and improve if he can. To be fair, the 89 not doing too bad through turn 4 in fairness. Let's see how he does through 6. Again, just missing his apex ever so slightly. Not going to cause too many issues. He has track extended, and that is his qualifying over as well. Did miss his apex though in fairness through 6, and that's cost him big time. And now the Ferrari also out as well. Maurice is through by the skin of his teeth. Of course that would be it for this session. Mers not able to set a lap time, so he'll be starting in P15. We have our top 10. 4 drivers starting on the softs, the rest starting on the mediums. A very, very intriguing qualifying it was actually. As drivers now head into the pits, that is Q2 over and done with. We'll be through to Q3. Of course, it is a shootout for that pole position between those in the top 10, and Peronde looking like he's going to be leading that charge.
Oh, to there.
But yeah, you were good. Something. Apparently,
All the
something
people chatting in the background at the moment.
By half a second.
Got to PWW the dude all chatting about that particular session, but either way, we've got the Brazilian driver Perondi leading this charge at the moment in the lead, 1 minute 3.1. Raptor in P2 with Luciano in 3. You've got towards the back, Logic, Dude, and Maurice on the medium tyres, well, just getting through by the skin of their teeth. They're on the soft tyres just out, but the soft tyres of Clips, SC Boy, and Shazam just getting themselves through. As well, but they'll be on an invert strategy. That might not be beneficial for them later on down the line. Those drivers just having a conversation between themselves in the chat. An opportunity for you two guys to get to know actually these runners. But let's progress through to Q3. 12 minutes are now ahead of us here for an opportunity for all of these drivers to get out of into these sort of scenario of getting the pole position. They will be taking the first pole position in this event, the Catalina wine mix. I'll get there in the end with a certain scenario that could see them get into the case of $500 worth of prizes. Certainly the rest of the league are very happy to share that particular one. Perondi out of the pits though in the Haas. First person out straight away actually is Perondi, very quick driver, known in the community for his intense pace. Question is how is the Haas driver going to develop throughout this event? 12 races ahead of us in the Catalina wine mixer. And he's certainly going to be setting the benchmark of time, that is for certain. Well, here he comes then to start his lap now, and the Haas driver looking to try and get going here. He wants to try and set early impressions, and he's certainly doing it so far. 1.5 tenths in Q2. Is he going to be able to look for a little bit more here? DRS now open for the Haas. Ferrari power unit in the back, of course, and by far probably the worst car on the grid in real life Formula 1, but probably the best driver driving it at the moment. Well, as it stands by the times anyway, Perondi certainly leading this charge. Here he goes through and then through into turn 4. Very, very wide line going through there, and the Haas is looking to just try and hold on. A little bit of a lock break and a little bit more time to find, you think, through turn 4 actually. Didn't take as much curb as I think he possibly could have done. Very well taken through 6 though. Perondi looking to just try and hold on. Very well taken again, obviously purple second sector. Only person to set a purple second sector, but Lord Gabe has actually beaten him in the Aston Martin. Then here comes the Haas, and a very, very big flick of the wheel as it comes across the line. Here's the time everyone's got to aim for. It's a 102.718. You've got Lord Gamer coming up very quickly here in the Aston Martin. Fastest second sector of anyone, but not in the third. He's down by 8 tenths, actually. And there goes PWW, the dude. The dude absolutely pile driving into the wall. He's going to be coming in for a fresh front, fresh nose, that's for certain. Here comes the Ferrari of Lucien. And Luciano looking to try and come across the line with a 102.9, 2 tenths down on Perondi. Maybe a bit more time to find here. And Mods SC Boy looking to try and get himself on the out of the blocks as well. The Red Bull looking fairly strong in that first sector. DRS wide open, of course. Able to be, he's definitely out-qualified his teammate, Silkweather, as he's been knocked out of Q2. So he's certainly gone 1-0 for him at the moment. A little bit more curb though, so just a little bit less time sort of gained here, and a lot of understeer going through turn 7. Here he goes through 9. And then finally finishing it off with 10. Avoid the sausage curve if you can. It has to get a little bit more lock on to try and avoid. Track extending, comes across the line. 103.2 beats Supply and MRA Logic. all three of them within the 103.2s. Extremely close stuff between those runners here. Here comes Clips. Big snap of oversteer again. It does take a lot of oversteer, does Clips. Maybe that's the kind of setup we're going to be expecting from him in the Alpine this season. It's going to make for a very fun watching, actually, in qualifying when he's doing his one laps. Number 97 as well. Renault power in the back of the car. And heading it slowly through 5 and actually taking a lot more curb than a lot of people are. See how he does through 6, actually. Misses apex maybe just ever so slightly, but not going to cause him too much time loss. Missed apex there as well. May go wide. Chooses to not put the power down too early as he heads through into 9 and 10. And finishing it off with a swing through 10. Avoids track extending there. We'll see how Clips does. Comes across the line now. P6 for him. 103.3. We've got 4 drivers all within a tenth of each other here. So mighty close stuff between potential second row visit and then the top end of the 4th row. Well, Lord Gamer 103.5 as well. So mighty close stuff on that front. The dude with a fresh nose cone on the front and a brand new front wing. Just leaving the pits now, needs to set a lap himself here, and Shazam also in the mix as well in the Mercedes. Didn't manage to set an initial lap time, struggling with track limits, the pair of them. One of them due to track extension issues was invalid, the other one put it in a wall. So see how they do when they're out of sync with the rest of the field. Looking fairly sharp actually. As he comes across the line now, Shazam to start his lap. And the Mercedes looking to try and get himself going here. Not bad through turn 1. Let's see how he does heading through into 3. Not so bad through there as well, actually. Looking like he's keeping it more conservative. You can't really blame him. He hasn't set a lap time yet, so perhaps enough time for him to set a conservative lap time, get in, and then have another go at it. We'll see. He's got 5 minutes. It's going to be a bit of a tight one. So it's 2 yellow flags away for a slow-in McLaren at the moment. That'll be wrapped up. See how he does heading through the final corner again. Very conservative, just trying to avoid track extension issues. 103.2, which is again another person within that sort of barrier. And he did a conservative lap in fairness as well. And he's looking like he's actually going to go for another one straight away, actually, is Shazam. Certainly going to be a tight one in doing so. Yellow flags wave for a slowing Lucian. Oh, a big slide going through there. He heads through 5, and through 4 rather, into 5, and then heading through into 6. Again, it looks like he's putting that power down a little bit more harsher now, and he's missed his apex actually going through there. May track extend, and he's done exactly that. The driver guilty of the said issue of track extension, which is something that you're going to be seeing more often as people try and develop their strategy and develop their own idea of how the track is performing at the moment. But a lot of drivers all within 1/10 of each other, 5 of them to be exact, and we've got another person, Marie's actually just outside of the case here, as we've just had SC Boy come across the line. Mod's doing quite well and getting into the 102s now. And Brondy's going to be slowly but surely looking over his shoulder here, because he's got a couple of drivers who are sort of breathing down his neck here by a couple of tenths. Sort of what we saw really from Q2. Logic just on and out lap at the moment, slowing down. Carlos Sainz glitch is for Logic at the moment. So you'll be seeing him with Carlos Sainz head, but we can assure you it's definitely not Carlos Sainz. Clip's also on a lap as well, actually. He's pushing quite hard at the moment, is the Alpine, looking to try and break out the 103.3s. We go through the final sector. And heading through that penultimate corner, track extension again at the final corner. We'll see how he would have done. He would have been into the 103.249. It'd have been in 5th place in front of Shazam, who's retired from the session. He isn't taking no further part in this one. And Luciano is now leaving the pits here. And he is leaving the pits to set a lap in this Ferrari, looking to try and beat Mods and Peroni. Mods just beating him across the line now himself, now onto the front row. Actually on board now with the Red Bull, who's looking to try and set something. He is actually on an invalid lap at the moment. And he's actually coming into the pit, so that will be it actually for the man on the front row. Perondi is also out as well. Raptor is on an invalid lap. Here's Logic. And he's on an invalid lap now as well as a result of turn 1. Clip's still on an invalid lap, looking to try and improve where he can. It's a last attempt now for the Alpine. Actually, he's actually invalidated this and next lap as well, so he's now not going to be taking no further part in this one, but his teammate certainly will be. On an out lap at the moment is Maurice. And the dude will also be looking to try and improve his lap times as well, as we have a retiree in Supply Raptor. He's taking no further part in this session as well. Maurice just slowing down, getting himself ready, and the dude is going to be falling up with a little bit of traffic here, and he might get a little bit of a tow maybe as he goes through that final corner. Clips it very nicely actually, does the number 2, and he is going to get a little bit of a tow here from Maurice in front of him, which may certainly help him out, especially with him being his nearest rival as well. But 0.3 of a second is quite a wide margin to find. Seaboy also out of this one as well, as Peronde has abandoned his lap. With 10 seconds to go, he's going to at least have another go at this one. We'll keep following the boys in 9th and 10th at the moment. It is Maurice. Coming through the final selection of corners now. And they'll be coming through that final corner. See how he does. P6 for him. Is the dude going to be able to improve? He doesn't improve through invalidation. He was actually 0.4 up and would have got into the 103.2s himself actually. But Perondi setting the fastest second sector of anyone at the moment. One effort this will be from the Brazilian driver. He's looking to try and improve on the lap time that he set. 102.7 was his last time to beat. He comes across the line now and improves that by just under half a tenth. 102.661 puts him on pole position, and he then takes a very, very solid pole position here in the first Catalina wine mixer event. And it is going to be a very, very intense one. Let's have a quick listen to the team radios.
And I crossed turn 9 and she's like right there, like half a second away.
Well, either way, people talking about slow corners at the moment. The dude not particularly happy with his scenario. Perondi does end up taking a very, very solid pole position. He leads with a 102.661, 0.2 of a second separating him from Luciano and SC Boy and Supply Raptor, the Spanish duo, in 3rd and 4th place on the second row of the grid. Shazam starts in 5th. Maurice, the Northern Irish driver, starts in 6th with Lord Gamer in 7th. MRA Logic in 8th. And then the Canadian of Clips in 9th. And the dude a little bit further back compared to
Almost
everyone else
there,
at the moment.
just
5
like
tenths down on his nearest rival and a whole second behind. Perondi starts in 10th.
Oh, that's good.
Nonetheless, a very, very intense qualifying session happened just a moment ago. It was very close, and in the end, actually, rain started falling right at the end of qualifying, so we just managed to finish it in time. But you can see in the stands at the moment, a couple of people have got their hoods up at the moment. It is a bit cloudy over here, and there may be a possibility of rain falling on this grid. Our first event here for the Catalina Wine Mixer event here at PWW, and it is Perondi starting on pole position on the medium tyre. You've got Luciano starting in second with SC Boy in third and Supply Raptor in fourth. Shazam is the next driver in fifth. He starts on the softs in the Mercedes. You've got Maurice in sixth, Lord Gamer in seventh, Logic in eighth, Clips in ninth, and PWW the dude in 10th. He'll be looking to try and battle hard here with Veyron and Silkweaver 11th and 12th. They're on medium tyres as well. Everyone actually outside of the top 10 starting on the medium tyre. Mers starting in the medium in the other Alpha Tauri. Toneless Death in 16th on the Alfa Romeo, and the Skiller in the Haas, and Iron Fox in the Williams starting on the medium tyre as well. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen across the world. This is PWW. It is Prestige Worldwide. This is the racing event of the Catalina Wine Mix. Up to $500 worth of prizes being given to these drivers over the next 12 weeks of racing. It is myself, Jota, here for this event, the round number 1 of the 12 races that we have available. The first one here at Austria. We are at the Red Bull Ring for a very, very intense event ahead of us here. This is live in Spielberg. And the predicted pit stop strategy being the 2-stop for those on the medium tyre, though I suspect a lot of people are going to try and stretch out and do a 1-stop on these medium tyres, though with a little bit of a hint of rain in the air. You suspect that there is a real possibility we may be in for a bit of an intense race ahead of us. But it is this man leading the way at the moment. Perondi absolutely flying high in qualifying, 0.2 of a second separating him from Luciano in second place. Luciano himself looking to just start on the front row and try and get the good start on the Ferrari powered car, and the Haas, the Ferrari himself, the works Ferrari, looking to try and bounce on a very, very good start. All the drivers getting themselves ready. It is very, very cloudy up here, and I wonder how that is going to affect the proceedings, how these drivers are going to be able to adapt to the scenario, and of course how are they going to adapt if rain does start to fall. We do have a very, very intense race ahead of us. The drivers are lining up on the grid. It's 1, it's 2, it's 3, it's 4, and it's 5 lights. It's 5 lights, and they are a go. The drivers in the up. Perondi getting a good start from a very, very quick set of lights here. And Luciano may have just been caught out a little bit, but a lot of drivers also get into the mix. Here comes Raptor going down that inside line, and he spun the car. Oh, immediately going through it. It's an absolute show at the back there with a bunch of drivers also getting into spins. We won't be surprised if the virtual safety car gets released straight away as a result of that one, but either way, Perondi leads the way with Luciano in second, and SC Boy getting a cracking start in third. Shazam is up 1, but he's gone wide after a collision there with Logic in the back there, looking like to get a good start, and Mers, what a start from him for the Alpha Tauri, 8th place for him at the moment, and a very, very intense race ahead of him at the moment between Logic, Shazam, and Marie's also in this mix at the moment as well. Very, very good stuff. Very aggressive driving from that McLaren from Supply Raptor. It did not work out well for him at all. He's down to 17th. The dude also getting into this mix as well. We've got a bit of a spin here. I think we've got a spin, have we? I'm not sure. A very slow car. It's Perondi. He's slowing down here. I'm not sure what's happened there, but he's really, really slow. Going through the final couple of corners, he's down to 4th place as a result of that one. And he is now down well below where he started. You could argue probably not where he should be at the moment, because you've got Shazam in front of him as the Codemasters being their best at the moment with the setup on the left-hand side, telling us that he's down in 11th. He's definitely not in 11th, but for some reason he is definitely in 4th at the moment, and I'm not sure as to why. What's happened there? He's got no damage that I can see on the car, but the Brazilian driver well down the field as a result of this at the moment. So Luciano now leads this race, but he's got a very, very closely challenging Mods SC Boy at the moment in the Red Bull, looking very close here, and probably a bit too close for comfort for the driver in the Ferrari. Back on board with Luciano at the moment. And the Ferrari looking to just try and battle through now, and after a slowing Perondi, now down to 5th place. The driver just keeping it steady as he heads through into one. Purple sector and purple lap time for Luciano. Shazam in 3rd place at the moment, but Perondi is starting to breathe down his neck here and trying to find his pace, and you can certainly see he's been munching through his ERS as well. It's probably got about 50% left here. So the Haas driver has been pushing hard here to try and bounce back from the positions that he did lose earlier on. And assuming that the left-hand side screen is now all correct again, the person that's made the best start of all of these drivers at the moment is Mers. Started P15 up to 7th, and now breathing down the neck of his teammate, the Dude. And Logic just tucking in behind in 5th at the moment, looking to close down the gap on Perondi in the wake of Shazam. It's going to be a well-taken corner if he could try and stay within track limits with the dirty air, and he's certainly having to get off of the gas a lot earlier than I think he really wants to here. He's got the DRS though, has Perondi on Shazam. Shazam is out of DRS territory of SC Boy here, and that's going to leave him quite vulnerable as they go through turn 3. Very well taken turn 1 through Perondi. Here comes now around that inside line. He's going to take it at 2, and Shazam is now down to P4, but he is going to have DRS on Perondi here. Perondi out of the DRS territory of SC Boy. Is he going to be able to make an immediate challenge? I don't think he is, you know. Perondi's had a very, very good exit out of turn 3, and Perondi is safely, you'd say, through to turn 3, and the Mercedes is just going to have to back off of this one, and you suspect that he's probably just going to have to take an L. He did not defend that one very well. Perondi continuing to close down that gap now, and he's actually entered the DRS territory of the Red Bull in front of him. Is he going to be able to get DRS? I think he might have just got it. He has done. And setting the purple sector as well across the board. 105.357 puts him firmly in contention to retake what is going to be a second and possibly first place, actually, because again, we're not sure exactly what happened to Perondi to just be so slow. Maybe half a spin or something. And either way, Perondi ended up getting caught out, and the Red Bull Honda is certainly going to be keeping a very firm eye on that Haas driver, and he's going to probably want to get past Luciano very quickly and put Luciano, have him the person under pressure with Perondi. And he is certainly pushing. These medium tyres will go a long way. They'll probably go around about 14, 15, 16 laps before you start to feel the effects of tyre degradation. Maybe about 24 you'll probably see them pit. For if they're going for the 1 stop, though you might expect some to do the 2. He'll be coming across the line now with Luciano. Another lap over and done with, 30 to go. Very, very well taken. Here comes now SC Boy looking to try and make that attack. He is going to go for the dive. He's going to have DRS as well on Luciano. Very well taken actually to avoid a collision, but Luciano's going to certainly have the better exit. And if anything, he might have actually put himself under a little bit of pressure here from Peronde. More dives like that one, Peronde will be saying under his helmet, and I'll just take the position right off your hands. Six to 36. As I said, 30 to go. People trying to get into the mix here. And 6 positions gained for number 6. Or rather, 6 positions gained for number 8. In 6th place, Silk Weaver. Going to be happy with this one here as Peronde has lost the car, I believe, again, has he? I'm not sure what's happened to Peronde. He has. He spun it at the final corner. And the pole position man, who was looking so sharp in qualifying, is now out of the points. Clearly Peronde is just not feeling this track at the moment and not evolving to the track very well, and I think SC Boy and Shazam are going to sort of breathe a sigh of relief here. Probably the fastest man on this circuit is not, certainly not the most consistent at the moment. He's struggling out there, and now he's going to be in a bunch of dirty air with 10 cars all in front of him, and Silk Weaver is looking for a little bit of an attack here on MRA Logic. MRA Logic will be just trying to hold on to the racing line throughout this sector, just chuck a load of dirty air in the wake of Silk Weaver. But the Red Bull is actually dealing with it quite well. And the Honda power unit in the back of the car with plenty of electrical energy available as well, so he's using that overtake to close down that gap once again as we start to see guilty parties now of track extension. And the DRS open now for Logic. Or rather for Silk Weaver against Logic. Going into one. Don't expect any moves to be done here, but certainly next corner, what a move, and what a corner there from Silk Weaver. Certainly going to put the McLaren under a lot of pressure here, and I think the AlphaTauri, our other Honda power car just behind him of the dude, is also going to be looking into the situation here as well. Needs a good exit here, does Logic, because Silk Weaver does actually just back off a little bit of lag there, just using the inside line though is Silk Weaver to try and defend this one here, but DRS available for the Mercedes powered car in that McLaren. Silk Weaver defending it very nicely. He stays in P4 at the moment. Sector 1 yellow flags with, and I'm not sure who that's for. I think that's for the other Haas driver of actually PWW Skiller at the moment. So both Haasers not having the best of races here. And the dude who I think freely admitted it wasn't the best qualifying for him, the AlphaTauri, is looking sharp here for a potential overtake on Logic here. 2 yellow flags waved, and that is a spinning car. I believe that's a Williams of FRA Crispy, who's just spun it going through turn 5. And he tucks in just behind his teammate Iron Fox. Back to this race though, and seriously intense stuff still brewing between these drivers, and SC Boy also now starting to get onto the back here of Luciano. No overtakes being done on that Milk Road. Nothing being done here just as of yet as well. The RS train is a certain issue with this circuit, and the characteristics of this circuit do mean DRS trains can begin to form as we have a spinning car again. And I believe we have a retiree in Crispy who's retired in the pit lane. So we aren't expecting any safety car as a result of that one, I hope. The spinning car was it was the Haas driver again of Reskiller. He's actually lost it to turn 1. Unrelated to the retiree of FRA Crispy, who chose to retire on his own accord. Hopefully his car's not going to get too close in the way. SC Boy just trying to get into the mirrors of Luciano, but he saw it coming, and that's a big slide, and that is pressure, and the pressure certainly worked there for SC Boys. Luciano definitely got caught out there. He's now overtaken into the lead of this race. Luciano now into second, and the Ferrari certainly got affected, I think, by the SC boy just getting into the mirrors and putting that pressure on the Ferrari. Put the power down that little bit too early, 2-3, lost the rear, and now he is in second place. Perondi's still in battles at the moment for P9 and P10 at the moment, as we've just seen Supply Raptor overtake Toneless Death in the Alfa Romeo, number 35. Just popping in as a reserve runner for tonight's race. Here's a reserve runner for tonight's race in the seat of TORL Duffy's, who is currently away from standings at the moment. On the grapevine to say that apparently some personal health issues are happening at the moment. So everyone at PWW and myself, of course, wishing him the very best as he recovers. And his reserve driver doing not so bad at the moment. 5 positions gained, up to P11. Has just been overtaken by Supply Raptor. Perondi looking to try and regain what he lost to maybe half a second earlier in the session. So not the best so far from Perondi. He's got the pace, but the consistency certainly not going to help his case here, as we've got the dude now with a 3-second time penalty as well, starting to come in thick and fast now. 25 laps to go, and he's still trying to close down MRA Logic at the moment. Very careful on the gas actually, is MRA Logic. Trying to find out what's happened to Lucian. Lucian's actually spun the car as well in turn 1, so SC Boy leading this race after a cracking overtake going into 3, and he's obviously put the pressure down too much, Lucian, and again he's cost himself a possibility of closing down to take that lead back off of SC Boy. He's now down to 7th. I don't know if it's some kind of spiritual guidance, if you will. If you're in the lead of this race, you are to lose it. He has no front wing either, does the Ferrari, so he's definitely going to have to pit as he tries to get out of the way of Perondi. Here's Supply Raptor just going to make the overtake as well, as Lucian going to be coming into the pits. He is going to be disappointed. I think that's his race potentially over unless we get a safety car in this mix. Sector 1, yellow flags wave for a spinning car, and that is Reskiller again in the other Haas. Haas's are really, really struggling. I think all Ferrari power cars are currently struggling at the moment out there. What was Shazam at the moment, as he looks to just carry on building his P2 at the moment, build the gap from the dude who's now, I think, in a podium position place I don't think he knew he could get, as he just overtakes Logic for that P3 at the moment. Logic to looking to try and re-overtake as he gets the DRS on the next corner. Slight nudge maybe up the rear, but the dude kind of had that one covered, I think, but he's not going to have the best exit as a result. Oh, McLaren got caught out there, and he's onto the grass there. Got caught out by how quick he was going to be, I think, and the dude is able to hold on to P3 as a result of that one. Not the best reactions there from the McLaren, who I think might be under a little bit of pressure here from Silk Weaver. Just takes it steady through that second sector. No track extensions or any of these 3 drivers looking to try and get a podium here. And fair play to the dude, defend it perfectly reasonably, but it looked to me as Logic just did not realise how much power that he had versus the Alpha Tauri. With that DRS open again here for Logic, as he does make the overtake, maybe into 1. They're going to go side by side. That's going to be close, and that's a 3-second time penalty for track extension. Silk Weaver now might be in the mix here as he looks to try and hold on here, and he might be double overtake here as the dude is going to go 3 wide potentially here going into turn 3. This is going to be mighty close around that inside line, outside line potentially. Here he goes now, and it was very well taken from Logic to take that, but the DRS is going to be available straight away for the dude. Is he going to be able to make an immediate overtake right back here at the Logic? Here he comes now into turn 4. Is he going to go for the dive? He's certainly going to try and put his car there. He's leaving the space, in fairness, is Logic, but the dude is looking to try and hold on as he tries to go around the outside and have the inside of 5 for the outside of 5, sorry, and the inside of 4 goes around that outside line, gonna get caught in the dirty air. Logic stays in 3rd for now, but it's gonna be very, very close racing between these guys, I suspect here. Silk Weaver, in fairness, tried to pull out of all of that battle, and he didn't want to get involved in a 3-wide battle heading into turn 3. You can't blame him for that one. 21 laps to go. And these drivers now, DRS open again, and the Honda Power Unit cars looking to try and get past Logic here as we have Shazam into the pits now to change off his soft tyres that he started on. He was one on the inverted strategy. As Reskiller has just been lapped. Perondi up to 6th place, by the way, after the pit stop, so good effort from him as he tries to regain some ground after losing. Logic trying to defend this one. Little bit of a kick of oversteer from the McLaren. And the dude looking to just try and close down that gap. Here he comes now down that inside line, and the AlphaTauri is back in front again. And Logic looking to try and get a switch back, maybe put the power down into overtake. He's applying a lot of pressure on the dude, but he's got no electrical energy left in that Mercedes power unit at the moment. You can see in the back, at the bottom of your screens at the moment, you can see just a smear of yellow on the screen of that McLaren at the moment. Means that he's running out of electrical energy here, as we've got Perondi and Supply Raptor, the teammate of Logic, also in a battle as well, as Perondi is looking to try and get into the mix here. Apologies, no, that's Reskiller actually. It's being lapped at the moment. Perondi, I did believe, got into an overtaking scenario with Supply Raptor. Either way, he's in P7 at the moment. Sector 2, 3 yellow flags with, and that is for a spinning Ferrari. I believe that might be Veyron. I'm not entirely sure at the moment. Silk Weaver now has bailed out of that battle, and he's coming into the pits now to try and maximise a potential two-stop strategy. Logic has made the move though on the dude who tucks in behind to try and get DRS, and plenty of tow as well. Here they come now down through into turn 3. Very well executed from the Logic though, as he just tries to put a gap between him and the dude. Here comes the dude now, but you see he's running out of straight, and he stays in P3 in that battle at the moment, but they're going to be keeping a very firm eye on Silk Weaver's performance at the moment as he comes out into the pits for a fresh set of tyres. And if they're going to try and match a two-stop, it's certainly going to be a very, very tight scenario if they both decide to pit now, as Silk Weaver is currently in 11th and in 3.5 seconds clean air to Veyron in 10th at the moment. Big shout out to No Limit, No EQL at the moment as well, actually, as we see the McLaren of Logic. He's bailed from that battle as well. The dude casually staying on, maybe a one-stop potential here. No Limit, No EQL, 11 positions gained now for the Aston Martin Mercedes. That puts Perondi now up to 5th place, who I suspect is now going to have to extend his strategy and try and commit to the one-stop now after those couple of spins. It was the pole sitter, now in P5, and Mers actually starting to gain on him a little bit. And the number 69 going very late on the brakes and actually might catch Perondi out here a little bit. Here he comes now. DRS is going to be available for the AlphaTauri. But Perondi's had a very good exit out of 3. We've seen him actually have that better exit out of 3 pretty much all the way through this race here. He is later, so much later on the brakes, but Perondi is so much earlier on the power at the moment. Maybe a new approach may be needed if Mers wants to make that overtake on the BRL driver. Well, let's take a look at those tyre strategies at the moment. And Logic has chosen to go onto a set of hard tyres. He is going to the end of this race. Medium tyres for Silk Weaver though, which means it is definitely going to be at least a two-stop for him, as he does have to use another compound of tyre. Supply Raptor now into the pits. He changes off the mediums and goes onto a set of soft tyres now, as Shazam coming across the line on these fresh medium tyres himself. Remember, he was on the soft tyres, so theoretically could take these tyres to the end if they will last, as he just overtakes Toneless Death yet to make his pit stop. Situation report at the moment in that battle between the dude and Silk Weaver at the moment. Quite intense racing, as Silk Weaver has managed to put a car between him and the dude actually, and it is the Veyron who is yet to make his pit stop at the moment, and a purple first sector as well on those fresh medium tyres for the Red Bull Honda. So I think we'll be happy with that particular scenario. But it will be hard tyres for the dude who's actually looking to go to the end of this race here. So he'll be hoping to stay at least within the pit stop window of Silk Weaver, but I think ideally he would have wanted to have been in front of him when he came for his pit stop. Perondi now in for his after all of that intensity. It's going to be interesting to see what Perondi does here actually, because it really depends. He might have tried to do the one stop He might have tried to do the 2-stop. Is it going to be a 1-stop now as a result? It is the hard tyres going on to the end. I suspect he wasn't really going to be going for that 1-stop. I think he really wanted to push for the 2, but I think he knew he wasn't going to be able to find pace after those couple of spins that he had. And the Haas driver now down to 12th place after Maurice makes his overtake. 16 laps on those hard tyres though for him at the moment, as the dude has managed to just make that overtake now on Veyron. Again, yet to make his pit stop is the number 89. Raptor looking very sharp on these soft tyres as well now as you're looking to overtake Veyron. Potentially it's going to be a bit of a dive if he goes for it, and he's going for it certainly. Going to have very little space to try and make the overtake, but he's got the grip, and the McLaren is already through, so he's looking to try and get past the dude and get past all of these drivers very quickly on these soft tyres, but he's got very little electrical energy left. The ERS unit has been completely drained, and again, the McLaren is just a smear on the wheel with the amount of ERS that's actually left there, as we have a spinning car, and I believe that is Reece Skillett again with an issue. Very well taken final corner from the McLaren, looking to try and get past the dude. Remember, the dude is trying to do a 1-stop. Supply Raptor looking to do 2. Here he comes. He's going to make the overtake into 1. Oh, he's choosing not to. He's thinking better of it. Oh, he's getting caught out, though, by the earlier breaker of the hard tyre, and the soft tyre runner may just end up losing enough time that the dude might actually get another lap, actually, in front of the soft tyre runner. He definitely got caught out by the early breaker that in front of him, because he's on a set of hard tyres, and you have to anticipate that one. I have a sneaky suspicion that Raptor is going to be stuck behind this AlphaTauri for another lap, and he is trying to push overtake, but there's no electrical energy left in that Mercedes power unit. He's going to try and go for the dive, but I suspect he's going to tuck back in, and the dude knows he's far too far back. The dude's going to stay in front. Some good racing happening here between these drivers here. Soft tyre runner, again, he's on the 2-stop. He won't be going to the end of the tyres on the end of the race with these tyres at the moment, as I believe it's Veyron who's had a spin, or half a spin maybe, coming through turn 7, turn 8. And then the McLaren driver of Supply Raptor, I think he's going to think better of just trying to challenge the dude later on and just make the overtake and just get it done and dusted. He is going to be far faster. The question is the dude going to try and fight it? I have a sneaky suspicion he's probably not going to, but he is certainly faster on the straight here. He's going for the later braking, and the hard tyre definitely has some level of grip in it, but out of the corner, Supply Raptor is able to put his foot down, and the grip is certainly going to be there, and Supply Raptor now already pulling a 6.5 gap on the AlphaTauri. An opportunity for the AlphaTauri as well. If he can stay within a second of the McLaren in front of him, he'll actually carry him with DRS. So if he can keep that up, he's certainly going to be in a scenario there. I think we've got Shazam, who's actually just spun the car, and he has spun the car, and he's spun it going through turn 7. And he's going to have to be careful not to do any unforced error there by rejoining unsafely. He's back on, but he's down to 9th now, and out of nowhere, Mers is now up into P2 at the moment, who's extending his medium tyre stint by quite a long way, looking to do the 1-stop medium to soft, I suspect, and certainly can do that, be pitting around about lap 24 for that one, as he having a little bit of a dance session, I believe, with SC Boy, just coming out of the pits for a set of soft tyres to the end of this race. Mers yet to make a pit stop, though, bear that in mind. Shazam has chosen to retire from this session. He will be scoring nothing for this one. He has retired in the pit lane, so no DNFs on circuit so far, just 2 retirements in the pits. After what I suspect the drivers deciding to abandon this race after mistakes on their own part. In fairness, Crispy spun and chose to retire. Shazam similarly. Tunless Death will want to know where he's actually come from here. 21 laps. He's got to make a pit stop, sure, but he's certainly got a lot of drivers behind that I think probably will be getting into some intensity behind. That might mean he's on for a pretty good result here. Mers is in, as is Toneless Death as well. We've said around about lap 24. They've come in a couple of laps early. But a set of soft tyres now to the end of the race for these drivers, I suspect. And Sil Weaver, I'll have absolutely no idea what's happening at the moment himself, actually. Currently in P3, currently battling at the moment with Supply Raptor on the fresh soft tyres at the moment. The McLaren looking fairly sharp, but again, just a smear. And I think he's actually going to derate here. He's still an overtake, but there's going to be no electrical energy left. I suspect he's going to end up derating, and he is derating at the moment, is the McLaren. So he's actually going to be out of electrical energy. And if he still attempts to use overtake here, DRS available for Sil Weaver, as Maurice has retired in the pits as well. So he's out of the running. He's chosen to retire on his own accord. Sil Weaver at the moment might be able to just keep using Supply Raptors. A little bit of a DRS trade, a bit like what the dude tried to do, but obviously losing the pace a little bit on those hard tyres. Silweaver is trying to go to the end of this race. Supply Raptor similarly, but he's going to be on some quite aged soft tyres, and I suspect he's probably worth doing a pit stop again, maybe in the next 2 to 4 laps. We might be able to massively overstretch those soft tyres if he chooses not to. Logic on a hard tyre though, he's trying to go to the end of this race, but he's got some very quick drivers behind him at the moment on very, very fresh and very softer tyres than him at the moment, and I think he is certainly going to be considering a possibility that he may not be on the podium as a result of this one, and he certainly won't be on the podium if he keeps getting penalties at the moment. Much like a lot of the drivers at the moment, 12 seconds worth of penalties at the moment for Logic is certainly putting him well out of contention for a podium here at the moment. Supply Raptor up to 6 and Silweaver up to 6. The dude on 3, but Peronde yet to make a mistake, I believe, at the moment with regards to track limits. Anyway, he is without any time penalties, and no limit, no EQL also in the similar situation as well in the Aston Martin. Board with Supply Raptor at the moment. He's behind his teammate, and he is still using overtake at the moment, but he's got no electrical energy left in the back of that car. Just a smear on the wheel. Unforced error for Mods SC Boy at the moment. 5.5 seconds separating him from the rest of the field, but a 3-second penalty now handed to him. Albeit his nearest rivals have got more than him at the moment, so I don't think he'd be too fussed. 11 laps to go. Surprised there's definitely not been any safety cars actually in this race. There's certainly been enough spins and maybe some debris on circuit, but no safety cars, or even virtual safety cars for that matter. Continuing coverage of this PWW race. This is round number 1 of 12 at the Austrian Grand Prix here for the Catalina Wine Mixer event, and Supply Raptor is looking to get past his teammate at the moment, and his teammate I think not really offering that much of a challenge on these hard tyres at the moment, and maybe a little bit of action here. $100 worth of prizes for the top placed constructor. So an opportunity here for Logic to try and get some good points here if he can try and hold back Silweaver. Of course, Red Bull and McLaren currently fighting quite hard at the moment. 1, 2, 3, 4 between all 4 of them. Well, between the 2 constructors, rather. And yellow flags waved in the first sector for Clips, who's now also retired in the pits as well. Ronde looking to try and close down that gap now and try and gain some time back on the field that he lost after spinning. And he'll be happy with the present situation at the moment, will Peronde. The Haas runner is going to be very happy actually at the moment with his relative speed. Has certainly got the pace to be a champion. But at the moment his consistency has not been the greatest. And he's currently behind no limit, no EQL on hard tyres to the end of this race. He has no time penalties, so he's certainly going to be getting some time. Probably on the dude. He may get some on Silweaver as well. I think he probably will. He's definitely going to get MRA Logic as well. So Perondi's actually on for 4th place at the moment with his pace. And I think the dude Silweaver practically know that. So if no limit, no EQL and Perondi just sort of stick at it and try not to fight each other too hard and just get to the end of this race without a penalty, these guys are going to be on for 12 and 10 points respectively. Interestingly enough, Logic's still not really losing that much time to Raptor at the moment. And we've got no limit, no EQL, and the dude currently battling quite hard at the moment. The McLaren's also fighting hard up front as well, and the hard tyre runner has gone a little bit on a fighting talk at the moment. He's on the hard tyre. He's certainly on the worst tyre of the 2 cars at the moment, but he's saying, well, actually, you've not pulled away from me here, so I think I have every right to re-overtake you. 8 laps at the moment, as we have Lord Gamer also retired from this session in the pits. Logic is going to argue, well, actually, I'm actually a lot faster than you at the moment, despite the fact you're on these hard tyres. I think I should have that position back here. And now, therefore, they're actually in a racing scenario as the McLaren. That's certainly going to be all smiles for Siltweaver just behind at the moment, who is going to be monitoring this situation, because if one of these two make a mistake, McLaren are going to be losing some big points here, and Siltweaver will be in a respective P2 for a Red Bull 1-2. By the way, we know that the 3 drivers in 2nd, 3rd and 4th have got a big amount of penalties here, and they're going to lose some time here to the likes of No Limit, No EQL and Perondi, both without penalties at the moment. Toneless Death may get some positions as well. But aging soft tyres now falling on Supply Wrap to suggest that a pit stop 4 laps earlier than the rest of the field, a little bit out of sync, may be a costly mistake unless he's going to attempt a 2-stop. Because he still has another 7 laps to go. 17-lap-old soft tyres. That is going to be one hell of an ask, as Logic is using up all his ERS. Both McLarens looking like they're going to start derating soon if they carry on mismanaging their ERS at the moment, especially as Siltweaver managing his ERS absolutely fantastically at the moment, well above 50% energy. And on the straights, the red light blinking on the back of the McLaren already, needing to harvest as much energy as possible, but it just can't on straights here. Little loss of the rear end there from Siltweaver in the Red Bull. Intense stuff still brewing here. Inverted strategies as the Williams of Iron Fox has been told to get out of the way of this battle. Maybe a ghosted car, but he certainly would be wise not to interfere. Oh, that's a mistake from Logic going up on the curbs there. I think he's under pressure. He certainly is. Siltweaver definitely applying the pressure, and the hard tyres really not working out here. DRS and plenty of ERS available here for the Red Bull. And he's going to try and get the move done into turn 1 maybe, as they keep on battling hard here. MRL Logic going around the outside wider, but DRS is available for Logic on his teammate. But all of that ERS he's got available as the Red Bull, and the McLaren just doesn't have the electrical energy. It's putting him under plenty of pressure. Raptor's going to get DRS actually off of the ghosted car that's meant to be getting lapped here. That's Iron Fox. But the Red Bull is certainly going to have a lot more electrical energy, and that is what happens when you mismanage your ERS levels. Logic is now down to 4. Penalties galore at the moment. 6 seconds worth of penalties. 6 laps to go, sorry. 6 seconds of penalties around the field, but I have a feeling it's going to start rising to 9, maybe 12, and that's exactly what's happening here. Siltweaver up to 9, Logic up to 12. Mers is up to 9 as well in the Alpha Tauri, currently down in 11th. That's his race, I think, firmly over. He's not going to be in the points as it stands. Supply Raptor using Carlos Sainz game face. Currently in P2 at the moment. And DRS available for Siltweaver on the lapped car. That is Iron Fox. And again, there is this sort of cross idea here that, yeah, I've got blue flags, but I am ghosted, so you could just drive straight through me, but you can interfere with another person's race if you just don't get out of the way. So even if he is a ghosted car, it's definitely advisable you just get out of the way and let the drivers get on with their race. Iron Fox clearly taking the former approach. Sector 2 yellow flags waved, and that I believe is for Mers again, struggling through 2. Currently on the back of Reece Skiller at the moment, looking just to get past him. And some intense battling happening for that battle for P5 at the moment. There's No Limit, No EQL. And Perondi might be getting into a little bit of battle, as the dude has been overtaken eventually by Perondi. No penalties to be known of here between No Limit, No EQL at the moment. And if you take a look at the penalty situation as he looks to make the overtake stick now, it's Perondi going down that inside line. Now he is certainly going to do so into turn 3. And the number 2 has. He'll be happy with that particular one. Now up to P5. However, No Limit New EQL is obviously going to keep that pressure on. As he keeps on that pressure, he's going to keep developing his race as he goes down that outside line of turn 3. Want to move around the outside, this maybe. Oh, I'm not so sure what happened there. I can't answer for what happened there. Looked like a bit of a lag spike. Out the way, Perondi stays in P5. No damage at all to No Limit No EQL. At least I don't believe there is. Anyway, it doesn't look like it. Out the way, the dude's getting another 3-second penalty just behind No Limit No EQL. Take a look at that penalty situation and you can see it's certainly a scenario that is looking quite bleak here for Silk Weaver and for Logic. 12 seconds worth of penalties is going to sink them so far low. And I think Perondi might just be back on the podium here. And I think even he himself will have to agree probably doesn't deserve it, as we have these drivers in front all battling for P2-3 at the moment. And Raptor will not be happy that he's currently getting swamped up in this little battle here. He has 6 seconds worth of penalties himself here, and he might be off of P2 here if he carries on losing time, as Silweaver's managed to get in front, and he's just hitting up of the rear of the Honda. But at the moment, the Red Bull is holding its own. He stays in P2 now. It is a Red Bull 1-2. Time penalties are certainly not going to end it that way. Logic with 15 seconds worth of penalties is going to see him tank down the order at the end of this, I suspect. And he certainly won't be happy with his performance on track limits, and he'll be looking to try at least bounce back next week, because he's certainly got the pace. Oh, and there he goes. He's lost it on the curb. We knew that was going to be a feature eventually, and the curbs were going to eventually be a problem. Might have been a problem for a few drivers beforehand, but the curbs, I hear, causing problems once again. And now Logic down to 7th place as Silweaver and Raptor still battling hard here. And he's going to have to keep a very firm eye on the scenario here. Behind him is Raptor. You think he certainly could say that Silweaver's not really going to be caring at this point with 12 seconds worth of penalties. Supply Raptor on to 6th at the moment. He's going to be losing P2 to Perondi here, who's going to be back on the podium as it stands. Back on the podium, and not just back on the podium, but back into P2, which is certainly a great recovery drive from the Brazilian driver, but he knows, I think, he should have been winning this race here. He had the pace to do it. But Mods SC Boy is going to be smiling from ear to ear as it stands at the moment. 7.5 seconds separating him from the McLaren. And a 3-second penalty not going to do him much harm. As we have a spinning Alpha Tower, I believe that is Mers at turn 4. Penultimate lap of this race though. Silweaver looking to just keep the pressure on, and think they're not really caring of the penalties. They just want to get on with it. Just Silweaver just biding his time, and he's probably looking for a last lap overtake here. Heading through the final sector. Sector 3, yellow flags waved again for Mers. As he has a spinning goal, and there goes Supply Raptor, he's lost it. And that's detrimental. That is now his chance of a podium completely over. And he's spun it again, trying to get back on circuit. And that is massively detrimental to the McLarens. Their race has just gone from bad to worse, as he's now just doing donuts, I believe, on the circuit. Not the wisest thing to do, really. It's deeply unsportsmanlike to just be doing donuts on the circuit when it's live session at the moment. Hopefully, fingers crossed, he can at least just get back going. His race is completely over, and I think he's well aware Perondi. P2 is definitely on the cards here. But he is still racing with No Limit, No EQL. This is a battle for P2, P3 on circuit. And he looks to just try and hold on, gets it to the back of the Haas, as these two will continue to battle hard as we go back to Mods. SC Boys had a bit of a clean race in the end, has the Red Bull, but he's certainly going to be happy with this performance. He wins the first race of this Catalina wine event, and he is going to be so happy with that one. Silkweaver comes across the line, and in the end will be taking a fairly solid P2, but Peronde will be the person that takes P2 off him after penalties. He finishes in P2 with No Limit EQL in third. Silkweaver finishes in a very respectable fourth, and the dude, despite his objections to his performance in qualifying, 10th to 5th is not bad going at all for him and for the rest of the drivers on the field. No Limit New EQL will be the driver of the day from a performance of P11, P14 he started. He finishes 11 positions up and will finish on the podium in P3, and he will certainly be ever happy about that one, as PWW Reskiller will be finishing this race right now.
And Ferrari, he spun out too. I don't know how the fuck he finished P2.
He's fast, and he was smart with his battery, used his tire life. I let him pass me because he had a bit more pace than I, and I got to keep the DRS for him. And he didn't have penalties, so I let him pass me.
Yeah.
All the drivers all continuing their deliberations of that particular race. It is the man of the moment, apparently Carlos Sainz, but that continues to be an issue with a glitch that hopefully will get resolved eventually. It will be a cracking victory in the end for the Spaniard in the Red Bull. He was really untouched in the end, and the Brazilian Perondi will finish in second place despite the fact he had half a spin and 2 spins in the end. It's fair play to Silkweaver as well, managing to gain some great positions in the end for a solid P4. All of the drivers still negotiating their races in the end, but the winner of that race was SC Boy. He'll be happy with a solid P1 with Perondi in second. No Limit, no EQL finishing in third place, and a solid drive of the day performance for the Mexican, finishing in third after starting in P14. And a great race from Silkweaver, as I said as well. 12th position he started, up to 4th place in the end for him. He'll be happy with 8 positions gained. The dude finishing in 5th from 10th place. Lucian not having the best race on his second stint, finishing in P6 after spinning out. Logic doing the same, and Supply Raptor as well, doing donuts in the middle of the track. I'm sure the stewards won't be particularly happy about that one when they take a look at the footage back later on. Mers finishing in 12th with Lord Gamer in 14th. They're both American drivers out of the points as well. Not the best race from them, but certainly a great race that was thoroughly enjoyable, and prizes certainly in the firm eyes of SC Boy, who now leads this championship with 11 rounds to go. But we do head off to the next event next week on the September the 18th. We are going to be heading in this event to what is going to be a very intense race. That intense race actually going to be falling at Bahrain. 5 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Central. For a very intense race at the Sakhir circuit. That's it though. Thank you very much for watching PWW, the Catalina wine event, and we'll see you next week. Bye bye for now.